when I was meditating on this first reading and saw that David was a herdsman, I thought to myself that perhaps there are blessings in being a herdsman, and I wanted to look around to become a herdsman too. You never know. God would have picked me to be like David. But unfortunately, I can hardly see one around Cronulla or around the Shire. It's amazing how God's choices work, how his blessings are given even to the little ones, to those who are less important in society. But God never makes errors, never makes mistakes. He always knows to whom his blessings will go to. This young man, David, who was out in the field looking after animals, God had already chosen him. And still, God's blessings came when Samuel came and anointed him as God had planned. I don't think whether David knew what was going to happen to him, what God had in plan for him, how he was going to be a very great king in Israel. I don't think whether he knew that the shoot, which is Jesus, the shoot of Jesse, that David, through that line of David, the Savior was going to be born. This young David never knew all that, but God had all that in plan. God went and sought for him, and indeed, throughout his life, I'm sure we all know some stories about David, how he worked wonders as a king, how he helped them to fight against the Philistines, to fight against Goliath, and how he really ruled Israel well. This gives me strength when I read this passage from the book of David. It gives me hope always that God doesn't forget each one of us. God always knows, and he has a plan. But unfortunately, at rare occasions do we know what God has planned for each one of us. But God still has blessings for each one of us, because our God is a God of abundance. He has plenty for each one of us, and he searches out to us no matter in which situation we are, and he comes, he lifts us up. He comes to us in those moments when we need him the most, and he helps us because he has a plan. He has chosen each one of us for a mission which he wants us to do. So this should always give us the courage, this passage, that God has a plan for each one of us. He has blessings for us. He wants to anoint us as he has always done. We are all anointed in baptism for a mission, just as David was anointed by Samuel for a mission, which we have to carry on. So let us always ask for his blessings to help us when we are carrying on his mission in this life.